Let's start with, how's this off season gone, and where do you see yourself now going into your final year at USC?
Yeah, it's been a good off season, similar to last year. Got a bunch of new guys in, the transfers. So just building that kind of team chemistry. Did lots of team activities in the beginning of summer, and kind of towards the end, went paintballing, went to the beach. I just did stuff like that to try and bring this team together, so that rolling into camp we have good camaraderie and we're able to just go play football.
How different is it this year with the continuity you guys had at offensive line going into last season? All the same guys pretty much with one or two additions. Now you got the big freshman class, you got Emmanuel, you got Tark has been here, but you got a bunch of new guys. How different has it been from last season just as the offensive line?
Yeah, it's last year those are my best friends, came in with them. So it's a little easier just to just hang out with each other naturally, Not to say I don't like hanging out with these guys or anything, but you got to put in a little more effort, because you may not like the same things. Those guys had the same thing, so we're just kind of finding each other out. And this room has come together. It's pretty tight now. At the beginning of summer, it wasn't off, but it was just different. There's new guys coming in, transfers. I want to say like 2-3 weeks in, just kind of had a breakthrough, and we were able to hang out more. And we're in here lifting every day extra, doing extra technique together as a unit. And the room's really come together, and it's just cool because it's been a while since we've had a real freshman class here come in, especially these 5 dudes that are very talented. So it's been cool again to see this place, bring in lots of talent, young talent. Excited.
You said there was a breakthrough. Was there a specific thing that happened? Was there a very tough practice, or what was it?
No, it's just like just the text thread started picking up. We just started getting to know each other a little more. Just kind of having fun with each other a little bit. Figuring out what guys do and don't like, and food. Like some guys, foodies. Going to food spots seems to do the trick for a lot of people, and then just like going paintballing. Just all the combination of those things, I think has really led to our room becoming close.
You talked about how you guys are doing extra work in here. Is there someone who's organizing that? Is that you kind of telling guys, let's show up at this time, or?
Yeah, it's just kind of the older guys, the older leaders. It was something we wanted to carry on. We did it last summer, and we felt like it was really, really effective, just in terms of us getting better as players and then just camaraderie. And so something that me, Jonah talked about, and Gino, and we got Jarrett and Kingston on board, Jarrett and Tarquin on board with it. So just kind of all of us pushing it together, being like, hey, today we're going to meet, do some film, do some technique. It was definitely something that we wanted to carry. We want them to carry on from here on out, because I think it's just so important for you during summer. You're the only people here on campus. It's the easiest time for you to come together and just bond the entire summer.
Caleb's taken the O-line out to a lot of places, not only just New York for the Heisman, but what was that experience like for you just kind of tagging along on a lot of those things?
Yeah, just goes to show the kind of guy he is, the amount of character he has for his team and his offensive line. First one to ever do it as a quarterback. I know it's probably a little different with the NIL space, but still, like, just for him to realize that the award's not about he couldn't win it himself. Like, it's on everyone, the team, the O-line. Like, for him to be able to do that by bringing us there, that's just such a cool thing. He really felt like we helped him win that award, even though he's such a talented player, and he won it by his talent and just the guy he is. Just so much respect for him, and it's so easy to play for him, being such a standout quarterback. There's none other like him, in my opinion. Just every snap lining up for him. He's gonna. We call him Little Houdini. He's gonna make some magic happen. So.
Is that difficult though to block? I need to hold my block another second just to get in free or something like that.
A couple times you just gotta let go. You're like, I'm either gonna get a holding call or the kid was gonna make a miss. So you just gotta let him go. And hope for the best, which probably is going to happen. So.
Is that something the new guys have brought up either on their recruiting visits or just since they've been here, like either asking you guys about New York or just, what could we potentially be in store for if Caleb has another big year?
Yeah, I mean, everyone asks us about New York because I guess we were the first group to ever do it, so they just ask us how it is. We tell them how awesome it is, and we're excited to go back this year.
Obviously, it's early, but a lot of new faces on the defensive line. Kyle, Bear, all these guys. Can you speak a little bit about how those guys can make your unit better going up against them today in practice?
Yeah, I mean, these guys are pretty big dudes, pretty talented dudes, and they're very just elite at their craft and they care. I see them in here all the time getting extra work as a D-line, working pass rush moves, run moves, not to mention just the amount of weight they push. Strong unit. It's one of those things I'm just grateful for because it's not going to be an easy last year, like people, maybe just me, I had this idea, I was like, I'm going to be this older guy, it might be a cakewalk for me at practice. Nah, this might be tougher than when I was a freshman, probably will be with the talent that they have and stuff, and so I'm excited. Surely elite teams have better talent than their competition. I think we're going to have that this year on the defense, and so I'm just excited to go against them every day.
What stood out to you about the freshman group so far?
They're pretty tight from day one. They kind of meshed together, which is a funny thing. I wasn't a part of that 2017 group, but I remember how close they got from the beginning. Just kind of reminded me of them a little bit. They were a tight unit. Their just camaraderie is pretty strong as freshmen. Not to say it's like a clique, but I think that's an important piece of college football. Is just kind of when you come in with guys, those are your brothers for the next 4 or 5 years. In my case, 6. So just how tight they were, and then man, they're big and fast. Their feet. You think bigger guys may have slow feet or something. They all have elite footwork. And I think that's so cool for this program.
Is there a focus in terms of, I know you guys said the job's not finished or whatever, is your kind of motto? How do you kind of close that gap and kind of get over the hump?
Yeah, the motto this year is the longer it goes, the better we get. It's kind of what we've been talking about because we tapered off at the end of the season a little bit. Felt like from last year in review. So just not getting in that mindset that it's a 4-quarter game, we want it to be 4 overtime. And the longer it goes, we will get better. We can't have this start and finish mentality, like looking forward to the end. We got to keep wanting this to go forward, and so it's kind of been the mantra this whole off season, and just little things, when everyone thinks the weight room session's done, Wiley blows it up when we do extra stuff. Just to get in that mentality that you never expect it to be finished when it's done. Like, always think another rep. And yeah, I think it's a great thing moving forward, and I think it's something that can really help us this season.
What's the biggest change for you moving to center full time now?
Yeah, I mean, in spring ball, it was definitely my footwork and snapping at the same time, and then just communication. It's a little easier at guard to get away with just saying one word at a time, your job. Center, if guys don't know what they're doing, you gotta make sure you're over communicative and like telling them where to go if they need the help. Can't just rely on just like tell who you're on the double team with, right? You gotta know everyone's job. So just that aspect of, kind of getting back into the language and then the footwork. But what we've done so far, I'm confident in my play. And then these are big dudes now next to me, like Jarrett and E-Man, Gino, Jonah, all of them. We're beefing up quite a bit this off season, so excited to be easy, when we get those double teams going. Excited for it.
Does the communication piece come natural to you? Is it something you kind of felt like you had to progress over time and get more comfortable with?
It's definitely been a little more natural being the center. But I got away with a lot more at guard. I didn't have to say as much, so just getting myself in the habit of of constantly saying the whole thing out when I walk up. It wasn't super difficult, but there's a couple times I'm like, oh shoot, I didn't tell them what they got, So just kind of getting back in that habit of making the whole call.
I mean, looking at you guys, it looks like you're all bigger. What has led to that versus previous off seasons? What's been different this off season to see the gains that some of you guys have had?
Yeah, just speaking Wiley, everyone talks so highly of him. I'm hopping on that train because he is elite at what he does. Him and his whole staff, Coach Drew, they program it all off season. So they know come summer what the next 8 weeks are going to be. They have percentages for you on weight, what to do, when to push yourself, when to deload a little bit. And I think just having that like scientific edge a little bit to the program is huge for us in games, because when we go really hard the next day, they know our bodies are sore and tired, so it'll give us a little bit of recovery so then we can go even harder the next time we push heavy weight. Just little things like that, emphasizing recovery, and then just making us push weight. Some of these guys can bench the numbers, and the other day Jared Kingston was like shrugging almost 500 pounds. I was in awe, It's just cool to see. It's cool to see guys getting strong.
Is there a translation that you've noticed on the field, just in yourself?
Yeah, there is a difference in weight room and field strength for sure. I mean, it correlates a little bit, but some guys, maybe stiff in the weight. When I started, I lifted a lot, but I got real stiff, so I kind of had to back it up a little bit. And so I think there's that fine line between the two, and just always, stretching and working on your technique constantly rather than overdoing the lifting, just stuff like that. But that's why when they came in, I think that's what's changed the game, because they've had all those key pieces of recovery, stretch, lift, technique. So you never overemphasize one and you diminish in another. So.
Talk about the maturity in the room. A lot of experience in this group, despite bringing over a few new guys from the transfer portal. How much of that is a strength for this group?
How much of it what? Sorry.
Strength for the group.
Yeah. It's awesome getting new perspectives, right? Because Voorhees and Brett and I, we all had the same perspective. We came in together kind of, and we all learned from the same coaches, right? So having these guys come in with different experiences from different coaches, they add to our toolbox a little bit. They give us different pieces of wisdom from other programs and from other coaches. So it's kind of a cool experience, because with Brett and Voorhees and some of those guys, you just kind of you knew and they knew the same exact things. So
Yeah, is that kind of so like Michael Parker? He was similar to Randy Voorhees, married, mature. No outside distractions. It's football school, and go home and take care of it.
Yep. Yeah, no, I mean, even though he's married, he comes and hangs out with us. All these guys, there's 3 married guys in the room now.
Really?
So, it's kind of a new, not a new thing, but it's something that's kind of normal to us now, and it's fun, just have the wives come out, hang out with us. Just little stuff like that, trying to include everyone. And but yeah, we get our work in, and then obviously they go home. But I wouldn't say it affects anything. It just makes us appreciate more of the time together. So.
It just seems like you guys are more grounded. You're playing a big city, but like your off season, you're out there, going back to the old high school, pulling trucks, having doing youth day camps. Where is that coming from? Is the coaching staff kind of having a trickle down effect on you guys?
It's definitely easier being older.
Okay.
Not to say I don't want to change any of my routines from past years. I just kind of know what to expect, knowing I have availability, and so now I'm really able to give back with my free time and just kind of be there, go out and be there for people when they need me and stuff. And it's kind of one thing I wanted to focus on this year, is just trying to give back a little more than I have previously, and just kind of a personal goal of mine. So.
Coach probably was asked at Pac-12 Media Day if there's any type of melancholy feeling about this being the last year of Pac-12. Has that kind of hit you yet? That this is your last year at USC?
Yeah, last year and last SC team to be in the Pac-12, it's kind of a cool feeling in a sense, you know. Go down in history a little bit as the last USC Pac-12 team, but yeah, it's a bittersweet feeling being my last season, you know. Definitely gonna miss this program, these people, just this atmosphere. But I'm also excited, you know, to see what I can do in the future. So.
6 a.m. practices or afternoon practices?
What's my preference?
Yeah.
I want to say 8 a.m. I'm going to go like 8 a.m. practices. 6 a.m. is too much.
You've been around Caleb for a year plus now. What's your sense of how he's grown or changed in that year?
Yeah, he's a natural leader for sure when he first came in. Naturally gifted, talented on the field. I think he's now just developed it into a professional kind of his talent is now he's a pro in everything he does. Everything was kind of natural, raw a little bit when he first came in, and I think now he's a pro in everything he does. I've seen him grow so much, and it's been cool to watch. So everyone thinks he's Superman, you know, but he's still human, and he's an all-around good dude, and playing with him has been one of the coolest college experiences.
He doesn't seem fazed by the draft projections, the Patrick Mahomes comparisons that are starting to come out. How do you view it when people compare him to the greatest living quarterback?
It's Caleb. I don't think when people compare, I don't know. I don't like all that. It's Caleb. Caleb's going to be his own person, you know. People are going to compare other kids to Caleb one day. He's a unique talent, a unique person. Not unique in a bad way, you know. I mean, super gifted. And yeah, he's not fazed one bit. He wants more. It's funny, you know. He achieved the greatest award you can, Heisman, and he wants more. So that's something not a lot of people can do.
You said people think he's kind of Superman.
Yeah.
He's human. What are some of the ways in which he kind of displays that human side of him that you've seen?
You know, he's just always willing to come hang out with the O-line, take us out for dinners or whatever, took us to go paintballing, just stuff like that. You know, he's not like doing all these events thinking, you know, better than everyone type thing. I got to do superhero stuff. He wants to hang out with us, be a part of the team, and that's just something you got to respect.
Anybody helping him with his pitching?
Dude, that was terrible. That was a terrible pitch. I laughed right at him. I was like, dude, you got to work on that. But no, it was awesome. I totally even forgot about that. Yeah, he took us to Dodgers on the field. Unreal experience, man.
You've been going against.
Just said that you guys, among the things you guys have done together was time at the batting cages. I'm
Yes.
just curious as to what the batting order would be in terms of hitters on the offensive line.
Elijah Page is dead last. His technique was awful. I have videos of it. I can't expose him. Jonah Monheim and Jarrett, they can hit it now. They played baseball for a little bit. I think Killian was pretty good too, Killian O'Connor. It's interesting that I want to see E-Man. I think he could hit that thing far. Yeah, he would barely have to make contact with it. Besides that, I gotta go look back. Mason Murphy was surprisingly good. He was hitting it. A lot of guys loved that day. It was funny. We just kind of did it in January, February. Just kind of improvised, and everyone showed up, and we stayed there for like 2 hours. And we went and hit in and out after, so it was a pretty successful night.
You went against a lot of the new defensive line faces in the spring, and I'm sure during the summer. Just what's your sense of where the improvement is on the other side of the ball up front?
Yeah, they've definitely recruited a lot of talent. Guys are they're big, strong. You know, they're all around studs, and most importantly, you know, they all feel like they have something to prove on that side of the ball. And this whole team feels like they have something to prove to everyone. So it's just we just kind of feed off each other, you know. And I think both sides of the ball make each other better. You know, I feel like we have an elite O-line, elite D-line, and it's just shaping us to be pretty good players.
What have you seen from Emmanuel so far?
E-man, strong, really strong. Technically pretty sound, you know. I've been through it, having different O-line coaches. You know, every coach has a different technique, and he's picked it up pretty quickly, which is awesome thing to see. Getting some guys it's tough, some guys it's not. He's a pretty fast learner, coachable, asks great questions. So yeah, super excited.
What's the biggest area you've had to help him with for the adjustment?
I think, you know, he came from a smaller program to USC, so just there's a lot of spotlight here, a lot of just it's different experience. You know, you can ask him. So just kind of helping him tell him what the USC experience has been for me, and then trying to help him, you know, through that process.
Have you noticed any differences with Lincoln Riley in year 2 compared to year 1?
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things you build off of year 1. Year 1, you know, we hit rock bottom before, so it was easy to build up. And now it's one of those things. It's like it's no longer rock bottom. You know, we have a new standard to beat, basically. And so that's just kind of been the mentality of this team, is to go beat that standard we set last year.
Have you and the other players on the team taken upon yourselves to make sure there aren't so many demerits given out, so to speak? Make sure everyone's on time, that the workouts.
Yeah, that's just kind of the culture, the team. You know, stuff happens in life, so you can't over scrutinize on everything. You know, mistakes happen in every field, but it's just trying to minimize the intentional mistakes versus unintentional. And I think we've done a great job this season, off season, doing that.
Similar question with Caleb. Is there anything you see different in him entering year 2 versus last year as you all were going through it?
Yeah, he's even more hungry. You know, you wouldn't think that winning the Heisman, but he's even more hungry this year. He wants more, and he feels like there's more out there. And man, he's just grown as a leader this year, and I'm super excited to see how he plays.
He mentioned to me that he's getting on guys a little bit more even this year. Have you seen him be more assertive in that way as a leader?
Yeah. Definitely grown as a leader, a little more vocal. Not that he wasn't vocal last year, but I think he's learned where, as a leader, you kind of learn what you're good and not good at. And so I think he's found how his leading style. And so, yeah, just kind of being more vocal and not being afraid to call guys out. He's definitely not been afraid to do that. And that's a key piece to an elite team, you know, having a player-led team versus a coach-led team.
Speaking of Caleb, I saw he was at Dodger Stadium a couple weeks ago throwing that first pitch, and he caught his offensive line with him. What was that like going with him for that?
That was an awesome experience, you know. He just told us to show up. We didn't know we were doing all that going on the field. Well, at least I didn't. Maybe they did. I thought I was just going to go push a beer and maybe a hot dog, watch a baseball game, and then I ended up getting a jersey and going out on the field. So it was a unreal experience. I'm super grateful for that. You know, he's taken us some pretty cool places, and I'll never be able to repay him. So it's just awesome feeling.
How do you compare the O-line at this point to what you guys had last year?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely point of like going into those guys. We're a tight group, you know, from day one here. We've been through a lot together, so got a lot of new guys, incoming freshmen, transfers. So point of emphasis was to try and build camaraderie over summer, and just, you know, trying to learn about each other. So come season, you know, we want to play for each other, and I think we achieved that this off season. Guys got a lot stronger. We got a lot tighter as a unit. And I think it's just a well-rounded room, you know. You got great young guys pushing competition up. You got old guys trying to, you know, get better. Even the young guys, you know, but it's cool to have that level of young guys and other people pushing the standard for the whole room. So,
Thank you.
yeah, awesome.
Are we done? Or are you still in it?
That was the last one.
Oh, that was the last one.
You guys,
I came late.
all right. Am I done?
You are done.
Okay.
My guy, you
I
are
was gonna say,
done.
I saw you. I actually worked with the Dodgers, and I saw you that night. I saw you had a fanny pack on your arm. I thought for a second your arm was in a sling. I was like, oh no, is he hurt? And I was like,
No.
oh, it's just a fanny pack.
It was.
Just a fanny pack
Yeah,
guy.
Jonas said
I
you're
had
a big
cold
fanny
brew.
pack guy.
I am. I'm a huge fanny pack
I was
guy.
also disappointed because I really wanted to get a video of you on the Jumbotron shotgunning a beer. I thought that would have gotten the crowd really riled up. But
I'm glad they didn't do
You
that.
glad
That would
they
have been
didn't do
bad. That would have been bad.
It would have been bad. I think that would have been funny.
It would have been bad. Yep. Nice. All right.